the webinar on mixture chromatography. I hope you all had fun while doing the chromatography activity. I have seen many of you have tried so many colors and made a lot of observations as well. I guess some of you have struggled also. I can say this from the absence of some of the photos or comments from some of you in the group, but that's okay. You can always get back to me in the group. Okay, and then a quick recap of what you have done in the last 2-3 days. You have got the resources for doing that activity from the Google Classroom. You have worked on the activity mixture chromatography. Most of you have taken pictures of your experiment and shared it in the group. Got your doubts, queries clarified by posting them in the group. Filled the observation sheet, completed the activity, and submitted the assignments in the Google Classroom. The assignments you were supposed to submit were complete the task and observation table. Most of you have submitted these two assignments. Not most of you. Most of you have not submitted, basically, I would say. Yeah, most of you have not submitted thing, but it was due at 5 p.m. yesterday. I request you please do it at least by today. Also, very important point to note, you will get more value from this webinar if you join this after doing the activity. After you work on that this webinar, you will derive more value from this kind of discussions. And of course, now you are attending the session, we are going to discuss about the mixture chromatography. So the name of that activity is mixture chromatography. So it will be a good starting point to discuss about the mixtures and pure and mixtures and what they are basically, and then why we come up with the concept of mixture, etc. So to go into the concept of mixtures, let's first talk about what are pure and impure substances. So in science, we say something is pure, some substance is pure if that thing is made up of same substance throughout. So, and we say some substance is impure when it is made up of two or more substances of different kinds. When they are mixed together, we call that as impure. Often we need pure substances to perform experiments and also for our daily use, etc. And we can get those pure substances only by separating this mixture or the collection of impure substances. So now first let us see among I will show some photos and let's try to understand among these 2-3 substances that I show which are pure and which are impure. Then you will get some idea what is pure, what is impure, and what are mixtures. So let me share my screen here. Yeah. Now you will see here. This is a glass of water. Inside this, water is there. So water, if it is pure, distilled water, then it comes under the category of pure substance. It is made up of only H2O molecules. It doesn't come include anything other than H2O molecules. So it is an example of pure substance as long as it is distilled water. But of course, these days the water we get in taps or somewhere, what we call as mineral water also, they are not 100% pure. They are actually mixed with some other minerals and stuff like that. But basically, if we get distilled water, it's a pure substance. Then you have this sugar here. So sugar actually is made up of same chemical compound throughout. It does not have any other two forms of the substance mixed in it. So sugar is an example of pure substance. So then here you have this table salt, for example. Actually, table salt is made up of NaCl, but actually it will also have iodine mixed in it. So I won't call it as pure substance. But if it is again only collection of NaCl crystals, then it's also an example of pure substance. Okay, here you will see, this is I have taken this picture from outside my house. It's a collection of the soil from outside. But here you will see so many things mixed together. There are stones, there are sand, there are this mud, there are some skin of some paddy or whatever. All these are mixed together. So this is not a pure substance. This is an example of impure substance or mixture. So it's made up of so many things. So like I said, we need many times, so I hope I made it clear what I mean by pure substance and what I mean by impure substance. When you have same type of substance throughout the collection, then you call it as pure, and when it's mixed with so many things, it's impure. But we need pure substance many times for various purposes, and for that we need to separate these impure substance into different categories, so that we get the pure substances by separating them. So how do you separate these impure substances or mixture into different categories and you get the pure substance of that? So the method is you need a property, you need to decide a property based on which you want to separate the mixture into different categories, and then you will get the pure substance. So what are those properties? So those properties can be, so there are many physical properties for substances, for the things around us, such as color, size, length. You can go on adding. So let me stop sharing the screen. Okay. So based on one property, we can separate this mixture into different constituents. It's what it is made up of. So, for example, let me show another picture here. So again, you will try to understand. You can understand how different properties can be used. So this is the same picture. I'll go to the next one. See, here is a collection of this peanut and chana. So by looking at this, so this is the common materials available at everyone's home. So I thought of taking this example. By looking at this, we can say which will be the good property, the property based on which we can separate. Yes, obviously is the shape. Just by looking at the shape of two different items, you'll come to know this is chana, this is peanut. So you can separate them using your hands. You can pick one of them and put it in different container, and you'll get the things separated. If it is a bigger collection of bigger stuff than this, say some colored balls of 4 or 5 colors, then it would be even easier. But if you go to the smaller substances, say for example, this is a collection of moong dal and tur dal. Here again, what is the property? The property can be the mixture, the shape. But see the size; it's much smaller than that of peanut and chana. So here it will be a bit difficult because separate using hands, because of the size is too small, and this collection will have a large number of dal. So it becomes practically a bit difficult. So you may have to choose some other property which is not shape, possibly size. Then you may have to use a proper size sieve using which you can separate moong dal and tur dal. One will fall down, one may not fall down. So this kind of logic. See, here you have this another collection of mustard and ragi. This is really very tiny. Mustard is very tiny. Ragi is again very tiny. It's almost impossible to separate them using hands. And their size is also almost same. So I don't know if you can use that previous method of sieving to separate this. So then here you may have to look for some other property. So possibly there is another property called density that may help, but yeah, you cannot use the previous two properties. Here, this is, I just mixed some salt to the soil and that I collected, and this is the mixture of salt and the mud outside. So here it's almost impossible to separate it using any of the methods that we discussed, using hands, using sieve, or any of those, because whatever you do, you'll end up getting the same mixture. So in such situation, what we do? So then we have to go for some other property or other methodology. So one a simple method that can be used here is just pour water into this, then the salt will dissolve in water, but all these soil constituents, the stone or sand or other things will not dissolve in water. Then you use this simple method called filtration. You pour that mixture into this funnel. Here you have the filter paper, which most of you have used for front as well. So all the water in which salt is dissolved will come down and fall into this funnel, and all the soil content will stay here in the funnel. Then now you have soil and salt water separated. Now, salt water is in the this flask, and soil is in the funnel, which you can separate. But how to get the salt back? Again, for that you have to use another property. You cannot use shape, size, color, any of them. Then the property you use here is called as boiling point. So here the technique, the method involved is called as distillation, and you use the property you use is the boiling point. So what you do, you pour that liquid into the liquid, the salt is dissolved, the water salt dissolved in water into this round bottom flask, and then you heat it. So water will start boiling. As the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius, water will change its form. It will, from liquid it go to the gaseous state. So it will come up here being steam. But you put the block, you are blocking that it is passing through this another pipe. I hope you are all able to look at my cursor movement. So the water will come here and it will condense, and you will get the water back. Condensation means the gas water which has turned into gaseous state become gas, the steam. Again, by passing cold water on the top of that, you will convert it back into water. So you will get the water here, H2, and salt will remain in the bottom of this glass. Yeah. So this way you will separate the initially, which was a mixture of soil and salt. Now we have got the soil separated by filtration, and also this thing, which one? Yeah. So water and salt be separated. Okay. There is some. Give me a moment. Some anecdotes have come and. Okay. So this is another property where you have used the first use the size for filtration, then you have used the what we call as the boiling point. So there are various separation techniques. Okay, somebody is talking. Okay. There are many other techniques based on which you can separate the mixture. Let me just have a quick glance. Let us have a quick glance at all those techniques. So one is, like I said, filtration, and using hands separating based on size or color and shape, and then sieving is another thing that I told. Here is the filtration, and then this is another technique called winnowing. So here, say the collection of wheat and hay that can be separated by this method. This uses the flow of air as the property, and then these are the photos of people doing winnowing. You see that it's going on, and then other property is the sedimentation. So here you see based on how fast a substance can settle in the liquid, you'll separate that water and the solid particles separated. So this is another photo of sedimentation. This is again distillation. This is another method called fractional distillation. This is the method which is used to separate the crude oil into its different constituents such as petrol, diesel, kerosene, and other petroleum byproducts, and thermocol, etc. You get from the crude oil. So crude oil is a mixture of so many substances and so many oils together. And you'll see in the photo, we have written all these things here. So here again, the boiling points of the different oil constituent is used as the property to separate them. but this is the bigger picture. This is called fractional distillation. This method is used to separate the crude oil to get petrol, diesel, etc., which is the most common in our day-to-day life, which you use, all of us. But how we get that from the crude oil is from this method, fractional distillation, which also uses the property called boiling property, the boiling point. Okay. So, like similarly, like all these methods I explained, one more method is called chromatography. So here, which property is used, how this technique is useful to separate the mixture and all, we will discuss now for next maybe 10 minutes. So firstly, you have all done the experiment and you have done also fill the observation table. So what you have done basically there is you have taken a sketch pen and put a dot on the filter paper, or maybe some of you have done with other paper, and you have fixed a wick into that and dip that wick in water, and so that water will come up and it will just let the color spread over the filter paper. So when that happens, you have seen that maybe it was for most of you, it would be surprising as well. It was for me when I have done it for the first time, that the color which you used, which you thought is a color, one color, say black, after a few minutes you see that it becomes separated and it gets separated into many colors. You see from one color 3-4 colors coming out, and yeah, some colors might have given you 2 colors, some of them might have might got separated into 3 colors, and some of them didn't separate into any other color. It stayed as it is. So here the method is called chromatography, and yeah, like I said, the black color, for example, in many of your cases, it's separated into many colors, impure impure substance or a mixture. It was a mixture. It was a mixture of 2-3 colors, or 4 colors in someone's case, and some other colors such as maybe orange or yellow. They were actually pure colors. They were not mixtures. They were made up of only one color. And then, like I said, the method is called as chromatography. So this is another separation technique. And chromatography was first discovered by the Russian botanist called Mikhail West in 1903, as he used a careful separation of plant pigments. Today it is used in the most advanced research labs also. We can use this to separate a mixture of different gases also. So we have what is called as gas chromatography. So using gas chromatography, we can separate the mixture of gases as well. So then, so effectively what you have done in your experiment is the following. So this is the example of the pigment separation using chromatography, where you have put a dot of the juice that you made from the green leaves, and then you see that it gets separated like this. So you have done the experiment like this. Initially you have put a dot, and then it got separated slowly, and further separation, you ended up getting this. So here the property which I mentioned, which we use, is the what we call as the interaction between the pigments of the color with the filter paper or any other paper that you use. What is that interaction? So between any molecules or any substances, there can be some kind of interaction possible. Sometimes there will be no interaction. When there are some kind of interaction, then they will tend to either stay together, or some of the interactions will result in pushing them away from each other. So when this chemical, or in the case of chromatography, the interaction is nothing but between the pigments of the color and the filter paper, where if the interaction is strong, it will stay with the filter paper. If the interaction is weak, it will tend to go away from the filter paper easily. So when you have put the dot of the okay. The dot of say dot of a black sketch pen. So there are different colors in that. So the colors which will interact very strongly with the filter paper, they will actually stay with the filter paper for a long time, and the other colors which will interact with which will have weak interaction, it will try to move along with the water. Okay. Before that, like I said, let me please. See here. So here you can observe, see, initially only dots were there. Then as the dots getting separated, you'll see that this water will also, so it will reach the printer paper through wick, and it will form a circular disc. In the form of a circular disc, the water will be coming out and in the groove. So at the end, it will come and reach the edge, and it may fall down, or it may not drop down. But actually, as the water reaches the filter paper through wick, it will start move out in the form of a circular disc. When it reaches the dot, it will start interacting with that dot, and now, like I said, depending on the strength of the interaction, it will either take the color away or not. Now, if you consider in the case of black dot, what happened? It got separated into, say, three colors here. So here the pink, which has traveled the least distance, orange has traveled the intermediate distance, and cyan has traveled the most distance. That means that the pink has more interaction, very strong interaction with the filter paper. So it will travel slowly. Orange has intermediate, more than pink, less than cyan, so it will travel that much distance. And cyan has the least interaction with the filter paper, so it will travel the maximum distance. So based on this interaction, this will work. This is equivalent to, say, imagine you have attended a function, a family function of at your relative's house with your friend. So you can just imagine the situation when you are leaving the function, leaving that yeah, that celebration. So at that time, after your lunch or whatever, so your friend would like to go away from there fast, and you means quickly, and you will have to say bye to all of them. You may have to interact more with your relatives who present there, your cousins and your uncles and all that. We will say we will meet next time and all that. So while coming back, because you are more close to them, because it is your family relatives function, you will interact more and more with those people who are gathered there. Because of that, you will come, go towards the door slowly. But your friend will have very less interaction. He doesn't know many of them, or he or she will not know many of them. So he will just like, okay, bye to all, and he'll just go away towards the gate. So if you imagine the scenario, it's like when only you and your friend has attended the function, then your friend will reach the gate much before you reach. So this is just an analogy I'm giving. You can imagine this is something like that. So depending on how strong your interaction is, either you will reach the gate slowly or fastly. Similarly, here the different colors will do the same thing. So this is an like I said. So here what we have seen is that a color which we thought is one color is actually made up of many colors. That is what we realized later, right? So if you just take the case of an inkjet printer, which you use most of you will be having at your house, or at least you might have taken some printouts or seen the printouts which and parents brought home. So you will see colorful images in that. But if you open the inside of that printer, if you open and see, what you will see is show some. See, there will be what we call cartridges inside the printer, and that cartridge will have the ink for only these four colors: cyan, magenta, and yellow, and black. So cyan, magenta, yellow, black, four colors. Using these four colors in different combinations, your printer will produce that variety of colors. Beautiful printouts it gives. All this it does only by using these four colors. So this is another example of how colors can be mixed, and you will get the different color. And by chromatography, by doing chromatography, what we have done, by using one color, by first starting with one color, you have separated them into different colors. This was about the chromatography experiment. Here in the printer, that's the reverse. It uses only 3-4 colors and produces different colors by using their combination. Another example where you can see, sometimes if you make some drawings using oil paint, and if you if somehow it falls into water, some water drop falls into that, then because that what ink is easily soluble in yeah, easily soluble in water, that whole your painting will go bad. And some of another example is some of the marks, if you do say using a permanent marker, if you put a dot on your shirt or some clothes, you cannot wash them easily. That's again because the marker ink has very strong interaction with your clothes, so you cannot wash easily, and your mom will scold sometimes for that kind of things which you do. And another example is that this police and forensic people, when if they go to some kind of if, when there is some kind of crime happened, if they get some kind of piece of write up, either some culprit or victim left some piece of write up there, and if they get it, they will there also they will use this method called chromatography. They will do the chromatography to the ink of that write up that they give, and so that because this the distance traveled by the colors in the chromatography experiment at a fixed time is the same always, so that can be that will act as a kind of fingerprint. So that method is used to separate to in the by the police people also. And like I said, for the chlorophyll extraction, I have shown you some photos where by using chromatography, you will separate the pigments and you'll get the colorful chromatography. And you can, I ask you, I request you please take some time and repeat this experiment with a dot of permanent marker instead of only sketch pens. So because in the sketch pens we have yeah, you have seen that the color gets separated. Why don't you do this experiment with a permanent marker and see if there also color gets separated or not, and just think if it gets separated, how it works, and if it is not separating, then what would be the reason based on what I have explained. Now I will ask a few quick questions. This is a kind of quick quiz. I will just
Rajesh, what
uh,
I'm proposing, we'll take questions from them, and then because I think this is a good time to pause and hear from them, just
yeah.
in case they have any questions.
Okay, okay. Okay, all. The idea is whatever I have talked about till now, explained till now, from that or again based on your experiment observation, if you have any questions, please bring it up here. I'll be happy to take them, answer them, and also Vishal also may answer them. I don't know the answer.
You can type on the chat window or raise your hand, and we'll we'll take up that specific question. So, Rajesh, are you also able to see the questions? Bhuma Devi,
Ah,
color is the question is brown color was not separated for us. Tried many times.
okay. The question is brown color did not separate when she has done the experiment. But the first of all, why do we expect some color to get separated? So we don't know, right? When we start the experiment, we are not sure that this color should get separated. This color need not get separated. So in the case of black, it got separated, and in the case of brown, for some of the yeah, it's again I have to go back to that. It's the brand of the sketch pen which decides most of the time. Some brands will use those ink which will be a mixture of two or three. Like I told in the case of printers, you can produce those colorful printouts using by mixing some only 3 4 colors. Similarly, they do. Some of the brands, they may have their own secrets so that they produce a single color. But most of the cases, I found that sketch pen brands, the brown gets separated. But I am not sure why in your case it didn't get separated. Yeah, that's anyway an interesting thing for me as well. First time I'm hearing the brown didn't get separated.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I'm assuming when you tested brown, you tested it with water only. If you have tried, so because Lakshmi is asking this question that she tried oil and colors did not separate, and can we explain that? So Bhumadvi,
Okay.
just clarifying that when you tried brown color, I'm hoping you tried it with water. As Rajesh says, our experience has always been that it gets separated into multiple colors, but what is possible is it depends on the brand, the sketch pen brand, and that particular brand we don't know how, but maybe they are producing the brown color directly.
I'll make one general statement so that will answer many of the questions. When the color gets separated in chromatography is only when the solvent you use, the liquid. In the case of most of your case, it is water. When you use that solvent in which that ink is soluble, only then if there is a mixture of colors in the dot, they will get separate. So how do we know something is soluble or not? So simple method is take that pen and dip in that liquid, a little bit you take in a bottle cap or something, and if the color is coming out to the that liquid, say oil point, and if you do it with the water, and if you somehow take a pinch of that and if you put in water, only if that dissolves in that liquid, it will happen. So, but oil point, I don't think it will dissolve in water. So it will not separate if you do it with water. But then you may have to go for the suitable solvent. So which one is that? Again, that's the question. So which is the solvent you use to in that point if you want to? So this is the, yeah, this is the way of thinking. Food for thought. Maybe you can explore further. But I am giving the answer is that it depends on the solvent that you use. And in the solvent, if the color or the mixture is soluble, then only you will get the chromatography done. Otherwise, chromatography will not work. And then what was the next question after that?
So Rajesh, just wait a minute. Through that, what you responded to is question from Lakshmi that they tried oil and colors did not separate. You also responded to question from, so there is one login from Galaxy Tab something, I can't make out the name. The question is when they put edible oil instead of water, no color separation.
That's how it happens.
And Madhushri has asked, does oil separate with oil color separate with oil, or can it be separated by water also? So I'm assuming all of these three questions got answered by Rajesh's latest response. If it is still not clear, please ask again so that he can clarify. Coming back, yeah, so Bhuma Devi is saying, yes, it was tested with water only, not any other solvent. So thanks, Bhuma Devi. We don't know. We are not sure why brown did not separate. Uh, Rajesh, I hope you did not miss the question from Nishesh. Yeah, how did brown come? I think the question is, how did we get brown color inside black? Shouldn't black have been separated into red, blue, and yellow? I'm interpreting his question like this.
If brown come back, uh,
Basically, I think the question is that when black color was separated
in his
out of other colors, they also saw brown color. So how did brown show up in black? Shouldn't it have been red, blue, and yellow?
okay, red, blue, and yellow. I don't think that is the only option because when I did the experiment, the photo I have shown also, I got magenta, orange, and cyan. So again, like I said, it depends on the brands of the sketch pen. But our common experience is that both brown and black is made up of most of the time same color. It's in all the brands that I have tried. It is made up of those magenta, orange, and cyan. But only I think the proportion was different, so that one became brown, the other became black. But in your case, what you are asking is either brown has come in the black or black has come in the brown. You got the black from brown dot or brown from black dot. Yeah, this observation is really interesting, and yeah, I may have to look into that bit deeper because in my case, both the dots were separated into different yeah, simpler colors instead of kind of complicated. I call them complicated because they are mixtures. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, so some very, very interesting questions, Rajesh. There's one more question, acrylic color. I don't know, Rajesh, if you have tried. There's one question that acrylic color, they seem to have tried separating it with water, cooking oil, vinegar, and it didn't separate. So what will it separate then? And obviously, if you go by what Rajesh explained earlier, it will depend on what is used to make the acrylic color. So each color, you'll dissolve it in a liquid, and for making acrylic colors, what's the solvent used? So if we can find that out, obviously, one way to find that out is the exploration which you are doing, Nishesh. But I don't know, neither me nor Rajesh know what is the solvent used for acrylic color.
Exactly, answer it.
Then there's one question from Siona. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Sorry about that if it's incorrect. Can chromatography be done with alcohol as a solvent? Yes. In fact, that brings to the question. So Rajesh was asking you to explore few things. One of the things will dissolve only in alcohol. It will not dissolve in water, plain water. And alcohol, some of the common sources of alcohol, one of the common sources these days includes sanitizer, the hand sanitizer. So you can take hand sanitizer and put some of these colors which are not dissolving in water. Let's say if you are playing around with the paint or the permanent marker color, try that out. Why orange color isn't separating?
Uh, so yeah, like I said, the orange color, to get the orange color, so this is very technical, straightforward answer that sketch pen makers, that those brands, they got it easily without mixing anything. I must say. So I don't have a deeper answer to that because that's not any this kind of answer where you have seven colors. White light is made of seven colors. It's not. That's not the answer. But yeah, I don't know why I went to that again. But I don't have a straightforward answer. But you can have an orange color, which you may find in from different source, which may separate into more than one color. That's possible. Yeah.
What would be very interesting is if you try making your own color. Let's say you take some leaves, you take some flower petals, try crushing them, see if you can extract the color. And that's where what Rajesh was talking about, the process which is used to separate the colors. When you take a already extracted color, the same process will be required to extract the color, to get the color to begin with. So if I just crush a leaf, you may not get the green color directly. The chlorophyll cannot be extracted out like that. And luckily so, because otherwise after every rain, as the water falls on the leaves will become transparent. Right? The chlorophyll does not dissolve in water. There are different liquids that you'll have to use, so try that out. See if you can take out colors from these flowers or leaves, and see if you can take out orange color directly from an orange colored flower. Okay, so I think one more question from Lakshmi's child. I don't know the name, sorry, Lakshmi, but she has said explicitly that this is from my kid, not from me. Instead of plain water, if you use salt water or sugary water.
My question, not my kid, she told. Okay.
Yeah. You want to answer that, Rajesh?
Instead of plain water, if in case we use salt water or sugary one. Okay, basically the reason why the water comes up to the tissue paper and comes to the filter paper, reaches the filter paper, and then the chromatography happens is because of capillary action. So for the capillary action to happen, you need the liquid and the material which through which that will climb on. So when you say salt water or sugar water, even though I don't have an exact right answer to this because I don't know the answer, but I see no reason why the water should not come up. So water will come up, capillary action will happen, and then the chromatography will work. But yeah, I have not done this.
Rajesh, one more interesting question from Nishesh.
Yeah.
If a color is totally soluble in a medium, will we still see separation?
Totally soluble. If Okay, Nishesh, when we say totally soluble, yeah, again, this is going to the definition. If we say something is soluble to that level where it gets into ions and then it becomes clear solution and all that, that is not what we're talking about here. Yeah,
So,
so
Nishesh, I'm unmuting you
Yeah.
just in case there can be an interaction because probably
yes.
Rajesh requires some clarification.
Yeah, no, this was a question just from my side out of curiosity. I was just wondering that, like we talked about salt dissolving in water and then doing the filtration and all. Similarly, if we take a color and if it totally dissolves in water, even if it is a rounded color, will we still see separation into separate primary colors, or might not happen at all?
The thing is, yeah, that's correct. The thing is, we are not going into this whole concept of primary colors and things. Here, we are talking only about the interaction between the pigments of the color, which are from which this color is made of, with the filter paper or any paper. So, you need a medium in the chromatography always, and here the medium is paper. So, if some color is, say, in your case, if you told that mixture with the soil and then separating, I would say there is no possibility of doing that with the paper chromatography. For that, you have to go for something else called column chromatography. There is another technique called column chromatography, like there are many where you will get the soil separated by doing filtration. Then you will get the whole color only in the water, dissolved in water. But then again, depending on uh, this should be tried in the lab where I worked in one of the labs. They used to do this column chromatography day in day out. But I don't think all the stuffs dissolved in any solvent will be separated to column chromatography. That again depends on the it's what we call as again a term I want to introduce, polarity of that substance which is dissolved in the water. Then based on that, its interaction with the silicon column that they have, silica column, this chromatography will work. This is the bigger picture. The actual chromatography works like that. It depends on the polarity of the substance. But yeah, this is all scientific terms.
But just to clarify, Nishesh, so think about it. The role of the solvent here is to carry. So solvent is holding hand of the pigment inside the color and taking along with it. But the pigment is saying, I don't want to come with you all throughout. I'll stay with the paper. So on the contrary, for chromatography to happen, you want something which can dissolve the pigment, which can dissolve the color. You actually want the color to be soluble in the solvent so that the solvent can take it along, and on the way at the paper, the different pigments, they keep getting stuck at different places, and hence the separation happens.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that means the dot or whichever is there should be there in the paper in the dry form. Then the solvent will reach there. If it's already dissolved in the solvent, then while climbing up the tissue or any paper, there is a possibility. I don't say it's impossible, but by the simple method, it may not work.
Rajesh, Kavya has nicely reminded us that you did not answer my question. So let's come back to her question. She's asking acrylic paint, when she tried it with water, the paint got spread, which means it seems to be soluble. It's not that it remained as a dot, but it did not separate.
No, once again, what I'm doing is that I didn't get the question. It's from who? Kavya, is it? Because
Yes.
your voice was breaking. I'm trying to read the question. Where is the question? Can you repeat the question, Vishal, if you have it on your side?
I think we lost the question on top. That's why she reminded. She's saying she had tried acrylic black paint instead of sketch pen with water, but only black spreaded, but not splitted. It did not separate. It only got spread.
Yeah. So if it got spread, that means that black color need not be the mixture of any different colors. That is my answer. Yeah. So I said, what is the understanding here? It will separate only if it is mixture of different pigments which are of different colors. It's the black dot which the sketch pen people use, the brand, because that ink is made up of pigments which are of 2-3 colors. We could separate them, but in the case of acrylic color, this is all logically correct answers. But yeah, we need to dig deeper in the lab itself. So acrylic color, the pigments must be of black color by default. That's not by made by mixing 2-3 different colored pigments at high concentration. In the case of sketch pen, they have done that. That's why you got the black color. They mixed cyan, orange, and magenta at high concentration. They got black. But acrylic, they must be using different method of getting black. The answer, my answer.
Let me. Someone is raising hand.
Okay, somebody raised the hand. So what's that? Is there anything to ask? Yeah, you can ask. Maybe I can see the hand raised. I don't know, but time constraint. Are we going to?
Yeah, I've unmuted you. You can speak.
Yeah, the red.
We cannot hear you.
It's not
Someone
audible.
who has logged in with the name Redmi, you have raised hand. Do you want to ask something? Okay, that's fine, Rajesh. Let's cover some of the other questions. Siona has asked another question, but before that, what will happen if we use soap water instead of normal water? This is similar to salt and sugar water.
Salt water, yeah, we can use salt. Yeah, the soap water again. That soap is its components are dissolved, and I don't find any reason so that to stop chromatography to happen. But again, like I said, I didn't try that. That's worth trying because it's a very simple experiment. I always encourage people who ask the exploration questions. Please try that. It's very simple. Don't need any materials. I can get back to me in the WhatsApp with the interesting findings. Yeah, I always encourage that.
One more question from Pavitra. When I do all colors or stay at edge, why did they spread backwards? I'm not sure, at least I understood the question, Pavitra. Would you like to come on the mic and share? I'll unmute you. Yes, Pavitra, can you explain?
The chromatography. I'm listening Kannada, sir.
Yes, that's fine. Rajesh will understand. Yeah.
Yes, sir. ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಡ್ಜಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ಆಗ ಕಲರ್ 1 ಕಲರ್ 2 ಕಲರ್ 3 ಹೋಗಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಲರ್ 3 ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಲರ್ 1 ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಲರ್ 2 ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದು, ಕಲರ್ 3 ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕಲರ್ 1 ಕಲರ್ 2 ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಏಕೆ
ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ತನಕ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸಯಾನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಹೊತ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟ ನಂತರ ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಪ್ಪಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಉಳಿದಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಅದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಹೋಗಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂಚಿನ ಕಲರೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ಲಾಕೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್
ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಲರ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊನೆ ತನಕ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಉಳಿದಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಅಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ವಾಪಸ್. ಸರ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ? ಈಗ ನೀರು ಜೊತೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಕಲರ್ಸ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ?
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಲರಿ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಆತರ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಲರಿ ಆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಸಸ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅದೇ ವಿಧಾನದಿಂದಾಗಿ ನೀರು ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರಿಂದ ತುದಿ ತನಕ. ಅದು ಏನು ಬೇರಿಂದ ನೀರು ತುದಿ ತನಕ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಲರಿ ಆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅದು ಮೆಥಡ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ ಸಣ್ಣ ಇರೋ ಪೈಪ್ ನ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ರೆ ನೀರು ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರೋ ಇದಿರಲ್ಲ, ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರೋ ಅದು ಗುರುತ್ವಾಕರ್ಷಣ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿನೇ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅದೊಂದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರೋ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Rajesh, you want to quickly summarize it for the benefit of others? What Pavitra asked?
Yeah, she was asking firstly why the colors once they get separated, she told when it reaches the edge, not she told, it's all our observation as well, she could see only the one color, the predominant color at the edge, not all the colors. So my answer was that it depends on the concentration. That mixture is made up of say 3 color, 4 color. One of concentration of one pigment will be really more than others. That is the method you need. That's how you make the particular, you get the particular color. You use which concentration of which color will give you that particular color. So because of that concentration variation, which is more predominant in that, you will see mostly that color, because as the time progresses, more and more water will keep on traveling towards the edge. So it will almost take it towards the edge, but still you will be able to see the thin line of all the colors. Yeah. The second question is why the water does not come back, reverse process doesn't happen. So the source of the water is in the container. So from here the capillary reaction happens and it's traveling from the through the tissue paper and comes to the filter paper. So there is no source at the other end from where the water should come back to the reverse the capillary reaction.
Yeah, these are very interesting questions. Yeah. So universal solvents, I've already answered that. So it's not necessary for it to work only with universal solvents. I think we have covered the questions. Okay, there's one more. As blood and drug separation is a good example for chromatography, how do doctors get to know which one is blood and which is the drug? This is again from Siona.
To be frank, I have no clue. Medicinal labs, but I don't know, because blood itself is a mixture of many things, and again you are saying you mix drug with that, and then say you use chromatography. Yeah, I have no idea. Possible, but I know they use this kind of density test, rotation kind of method to some kind of drug test. But here I don't have a right answer to this, but I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have understood the question clearly. Fiona, you want to come on mic and clarify what you are saying? Because this we have also heard, but how exactly it happens, and it's not that the blood and drugs are getting mixed. Okay, I'll unmute you so that you can share your question. Yes, Fiona, go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
So basically, the example was that when blood is mixed with drugs in a medical lab, they try and separate it through chromatography. My doubt was how do they get to know which is the blood constituents and which is the drugs part?
Okay. Then that means you are sure that they use chromatography, right? Then I can answer the question how they come to know. So in chromatography, what is the method? See, I told in the case of black, it's separated into cyan, magenta, and orange. But if you put a cyan dot, and if you do the experiment parallelly in the same filter paper, black dot here and cyan dot here, in my image it was there. I can show that so that you will get the right the clarity in what I'm talking. So why don't I just explain? Yeah. This one. Yeah, here you see. So from the B, black dot, cyan has reached the edge. From the cyan also, cyan has reached the edge only. And from the green also, cyan has reached the edge only. That means cyan will travel the fixed distance. It's always more than orange, or always more than magenta, always more than yellow. So in the case of your mixture of blood and drug also, one of these two should travel a fixed distance. If blood travels a fixed distance in given time, it will always travel only that much distance in the chromatography experiment. The drug will travel if either more than that or less than that, but always at the given fixed time, it will travel only that much distance, say 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters. So So what they will, what is possible to do in this case of mixture of drug and blood is that you take the that two things separately and do run a chromatography for a fixed duration of time, and you see how much drug will travel, say magenta, how much blood will travel, say blood constituents will travel, say cyan. Then you do the chromatography for mixture, then you will see where which has traveled. So that distance you just calculate, you can get back to the which is blood and which is drug. But I don't know if it's the paper chromatography which is used there. I think that there can be another bit more sophisticated chromatography called column chromatography. But yeah, in any case, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The reason is the distance traveled by different constituents are different. They are not, they cannot mix also, and they cannot become once. This one is more, second time this one is. It is like a fingerprint. So using this property, kind of fingerprint.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So Vishal, you are on mute. You are on mute. Yeah. We are not able to hear you, Vishal. You are on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying there's one more question. I don't know from whom it is. If oil falls on floor, then mixed with soap water, then so many times I observed splitting of colors through oil, though oil is not a universal solvent. See, this splitting of colors is when light falls on it. This is a completely different mechanism. Yeah,
Like,
maybe you, yeah, go ahead, Rajesh, you can answer.
Actually, I have saying the same thing. That I think in that case there is no any color separation happening. It is just the phenomenon of light being, say, I think there what happens is the refraction again. So because of, yeah, when the in the bubble, that bubble will be formed and light will be traveling through that space, and from the air to that bubble layer phase and again to the air, then some kind of refraction happens and the pattern is produced. Interference will happen. So when that happens, and then, yeah, interference pattern, you get the colors.
Basically, that phenomenon is different. Who has asked this question? Galaxy Tab. Sorry, I'm not able to find the name. That's the reason I'm asking.
Sorry, I
That's
think I
more
answered
of
it wrongly. Okay, sorry. Sorry, yeah. It's just dispersion of light happens.
yeah.
Anyway, but it is not. It's not nothing to do with the color
So
separation.
basically, Kavya, imagine you are running in air, you fall in water, your speed of running will reduce. Same happens with light. When light falls through, it goes through a different medium. In air, it is running very fast. It comes across something where it cannot run very fast. And what happens is the light which we see, that is made up of multiple colors. So different colors slow down differently. Some will slow down little, some will slow down. So imagine there are 7 people running and they come and fall in water. As they fall in water, they all slow down. One slows down more, one slows down less, and hence they start separating. Before that, they were running as a group. That's the phenomenon we are seeing when we get that bubble, light getting split into those colors. That's different from the chromatography. Okay. Thank you, Kavya. These are all wonderful questions. I'm amazed to see the type of questions being asked. Any other question? I hope we haven't missed out any answering any other question. Okay then, Rajesh, do we take a pause here? It's already 6 o'clock. We have run the 40 minutes webinar into 60 minutes, but at the same time, half an hour of Q&A is very, very encouraging for us. That shows your participation. Yeah, so we will end the call here. keep experimenting, keep working. More you work, more you have fun, and more you learn. We will be meeting again next week after you have worked on the next activity. As Rajesh was saying, please work on that activity before the webinar starts. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye.
Nishish, just acknowledging. I read your message. Instead of typing, I'm acknowledging here. We'll talk. I'll give you a call after this call ends.